Okay, I think I can start. Hello, guys. Good evening and good afternoon. Today I'm presenting green roof systems. It's in terms of an overview, this company is more towards setting up the green roofs in multiple regions. Right now, they are in Europe with 150K customers, and they're expecting it to double down that the expansion in Canada and United States next year. In terms of my org strategy, sorry. In terms of my org strategy, it is a single org considering there's a unified business process. I'm putting up a multi-currency because it's been into Europe with multiple currencies and multi-language because it's been in Europe and expanding it to US. So I'm considering multi-currency and multi-language. For this scenario, my mobile strategy would be for entire employees, it would be Salesforce for mobile app. And for Exchange, it will be mobile publisher. My data backup strategy would be Odessa. And considering there will be a couple of LDB objects, then I would be using Odessa for backing. Before I move on, I would like to go over my requirements, and then I will go over my landscape and actors and licenses and all the artifacts together. Just give me 1 second. Yeah. So for business requirement perspective, in this particular requirement, there's a marketers who wants to gather details about the prospective customers. So I'm proposing the campaign object in this object model where it will be storing the conferences and trade shows. Under the campaign object, I would be having a lead object, which will be a potential customers. And under lead, I would be getting a one more custom object, which is called prospect, which will be adding up more details about the project, which will be installation budget, square footage, and project start dates and everything. So this is my object model, like campaign members, contacts, and leads. And under lead, there's a project, and the project will be moving into opportunity and the account object. So the second thing is about we have to review the potential verifications and everything. After the verification is done, we would like to mark it to the verified project. So I'm taking up the lead conversion process over here. Once the lead is being converted, I would be marking this project as a verified project. And once the project is being verified, I would be converting that lead into opportunity and account. And the project record will also be mapped to opportunity account using a opti record trigger flow. From a potential start date with a 3 months with a budget larger than 100K, I would be using for high priority to update the high priority flags on opportunities and sales dependent region. I would be using a record trigger flow on opportunity object. And to update the status, I would be using this record trigger flow based on this dollar amount on a opportunity. And also in that record trigger flow, I would be using email action as well to send out an email. As this process an opportunity creates, so this record trigger would be an opportunity creation. And once the dollar amount is going for 500K, I would be using a very similar exact same flow and putting up a different decision point of 500K and making the strategic priority on the opportunity object. And same flow would be used, but with different conditions appropriately for this requirement. If the sales rep doesn't follow up the customers, I would be considering that if they're not following up, I'm assuming that they would be, once they follow up, they would be getting a task on opportunity object. And if I don't see any task on opportunity object, then I would be sending out an email to a manager. And this would be done. I would be using async path flow on a flow on the same opportunity create. Once the opportunity is being created after 5 days, if there's no task is being created, I would be sending out an email to the managers via email action in the flow. So now after that, current customers who are interested in starting a new green roof project should be assigned to the same sales rep. And in order to assign the same sales rep, what I'm considering in my object model is I would be having an account and I would be having an account where we have the owner as sales rep and all the leader owners or the marketers are the owners. So in case they are different and if they want to assign the same sales rep to the lead and project, what I would be taking up for this requirement is I will be taking up the owner from an account and then I will be assigning it to the project and lead. So in this particular scenario, I'm considering that there's no lead because they are already the customers already been there. So if there's a new green roof project for the existing customers, then they would not be converting it to lead. They would be directly creating a project record under an account object. And I think I just want to mention one more thing. This particular lookup would be like this as well. So yeah, so for the current customers, they would be directly creating a project under account object, and then from the account object, project owner would be flown on. From the sales representative begin the sales process. In order to get the list of projects, I would be using a list view on opportunity where they can see the list of verified projects, and there will be multiple list views. One is based on ownership, that the opportunity which are owned by sales rep, and there will be region specific list views also will be created, and a sales rep can go to those list views and then see that the region specific verified potential projects. For sales rep to confirm to do a call, I'm proposing sales cloud dialer because I'm considering that this would be only an outbound call, so that's why I'm not considering service cloud voice over here. In case if the sales representative have to handle the inbound call as well, I could consider the service cloud voice as well. But here the requirement is more towards sales rep are gonna call the customers just to schedule an on-site visit. I will be considering sales cloud dialer, which can suffice the requirement for outbound calls, and it will create automatically a task on that project record as well, so that we understand, okay, sales representative has actually called the customer. So when the sales rep arrives at the customer side, I'm considering I would be putting up a let me just go to my landscape as well. I will be using a Salesforce mobile app for internal employees and mobile publisher app for customers. So what I will be doing is I will be using the mobile check-in process for internal mobile, which are for the internal employees, which are sales representatives, and they will be having a check-in button on a project. I'm not putting up a check-in button on opportunity, considering there can be multiple projects on a same opportunity. So I would be the users would be going into individual projects on a mobile app, and they would be clicking on check-in button. And once the check-in button is being created, once the check-in button has been clicked, the check-in status would be updated on that particular project record. So they would like to upload the photos and save the GPS coordinates and videos on that particular visit. So I will be proposing for this requirement the files tab, which is very much suffice to store up to 2 GB of files. And considering videos are less than 1 hour of time, I'm considering this is not a big problem over here. And they will be using their individual mobiles to capture the photos and videos. And once they capture the photos and videos, they will be able to use the files tab inside their Salesforce mobile app to upload those photos and videos directly. In order to set the GPS coordinate, I'm proposing a LWC, which will be quick action, which will be open via quick action. Quick action button would be track GPS, and the moment you click on track GPS, LWCs can certainly track the JavaScript can track their locations. I would consider the other tracking application as well, but since there was no much requirements on GPS coordinates except tracking the current location, I'm just considering a simple LWC, which can just put up the JavaScript and use the tracking API on location service tracking API and LWC, and they can track the GPS. In order to generate the estimate, so once they understand the project details and they want to estimate the green roof for the customer, I am considering the quote and quote line item. At this point, I would like to just show you that object model. Once the account has been created, there's an opportunity being created, right? Once the lead is being converted. At this point, opportunity, the quote object would be created with the quote line items. And quote line items will flow from opportunity line item, whatever the opportunity line items have been created. So at this time, this particular opportunity record would be created, and we will use the code PDF out of box functionality, which can send out an email to the customer. And the PDF can be attached to an email. So I would be considering this as an out of box functionality of Salesforce to use the code PDF and then send out that email. I'm considering this code object and code line items to send out an email to the customer. They would like to also create a green roof project. So this green roof project is not a set of I'm considering this is a work order, which is like we have to actually work on this now project. So previously it was just a project to details about what this project is all about. But now this is considering This is actually, I'm considering this as a work order. I will rename this to a work order. Sorry, work order it can be renamed to green roof project or assignment for design consultants. And considering they want to do the skill-based routing and availability, I'm considering the omni-channel routing and using skill-based routing and availability. Customer should receive an email. So in order to send out a customer, I will propose the once the work order has been assigned to a particular agent after skill-based routing, I will be using record trigger-based flow. And RTF, in the RTF, we will be using the email action to send out an email to the customer. For project design process, I would be they would like to collaborate with the plan choices and plan design ideas. I'm considering there will be a chatter tab which can be added on a work order item, and customers and customers and design consultants both can see. For customers, I had provided the actors and license for customers. They will be CC. So I'm just gonna put up the customer as well. Sorry, they would be CC as well. So customers would be logging in as a CC user. They will be getting an access to the project via sharing set. The sharing set condition would be user.account ID equals project.account ID, which I had shown in this particular object model as well. Project has a relationship with account. So user.account ID equals project.account ID would be the sharing set for the customers in order to they see the particular project. Once they see the project, they will be at a tab where they can design, where they can, design consultants can share the records or share the details with the customers. There's a visible to customer only checkbox being present on Chatter tab, which can be utilized to share the attachments or share the comments to the customers. The installation files and everything would be under 60 to 860, 30 to 60 MB, which is very much under the limit of Chatter files. So I'm considering the same thing, which would be use Chatter files, and they can use the Chatter to upload these files into the project object. One, the design consultants use a specialty, design consultant want to use a specialty planned application for searching the specific plan. So over here, I'm considering external object, which is data virtualization from an SP object, and there's an integration over here, which would be using a over JWT flow via ESB because SP is a in-house application. Just to go to this um, system landscape, I have a ETL, which is Informatica, and ESB, which is MuleSoft, and a special plant application, billing system, and LMS learning management systems are being connected to ESB, and then ESB is connected to Salesforce. In this particular scenario, SPA would be connected with the direct authentication or basic authentication to ESB, and then ESB would be connected with JWT pair or 2.0 flow with TLS 1.2. Sorry, TLS 2.0. So using what data virtualization, design consultants can see all the plant applications which are being present. I would be proposing an LWC over here. LWC can certainly query the external objects or records over here. The reason being LWC is because there's a custom logic which you would like to show and hide and a couple of things which you're doing in this requirement. So plants or results that are for other projects should not appear in search results. So that can certainly be handled with LWC with the filter conditions. And there are specific things where if there's specific condition which cannot be handled by SQL, then we will be putting up those filters directly in Apex. But certainly this is certainly been possible in a custom LWC flow. Each project may have reserved up to 50 max plants. So there are different plant types, technically specialty plant types. So this is also I'm considering that if in LWC we'll check it out based on this object model. If you see, right, there are different specialty plant application which I'm gonna link up with work orders, right? So let's say example, there's a work order A and it has 5 different plants being connected to the work order. We can do a SQL query to determine that, okay, what are the different unique types for this? And for that, I would like to do a group by query on a specialty plant record on the external object, and then we can track it based on that. If the project is cancelled, then the reserve plan should appear as available in special plan application. So this is a very similar thing. We want to put up the filters on that SQL query, and that if that is cancelled, then we're gonna not show those records. If it is cancelled, then I'm gonna show the record. If it is not cancelled, we're gonna not show the records. When the project is ready for approval, the design consultant sends the installation schedule. So in order to send the details to the customer, I'm proposing a Conga composer over here. The reason being is because budget plans and design schematics are probably being utilized by the child records as well. I'm putting up a compose on work order object where work order line items and codes and other details can be added into it. And since design schematics and installation plans are on Shutter tab, so probably we have to do some queries over here. So that's why I'm proposing Congo Composer, which can certainly attach and everything put up in a particular email template, and then it can send out to the customer. Once the customer approves or rejects, so for approval, I would be proposing, as the project record has already been visible, as I mentioned, like user.account ID equals project.account ID. Using sharing set, customer would able to see the project record. We will be proposing a one approve/reject button on a project record. I'm not considering an approval flow because this is external users who are approving it. So I'm just proposing a one button approve/reject. And once I click on a button, I can show up a one drop down approve or reject, and then based on the pick list, we can define the work order status. And this is a kind of a LWC component which will be utilized to define what the status of the work order would be based on the customer. Once customer approves this particular project, then we would like to send out an installation permit to the government agencies. For that particular thing, I would be proposing an integration call out from SF to ESB to government agencies. Um, Here, what I would be, sorry, give me one second. This is wrong over here. I would like to put up this ESB. Yeah. So here I would be proposing the Salesforce to go via ESB to government agencies. The reason being is because there are multiple regions and there can be possibility that each region has their own government agencies. So ESB can orchestrate all those endpoints of government agencies, and Salesforce will be just calling out the ESBs, and ESB will calling out the respective government agencies to get the results back. And this requirement, since government agency doesn't respond back immediately, I'm considering this is a fire and forget design pattern. And once the government agency decides what the permit application would be approval or reject, they can respond back within a week. I'm considering that they can call out the MuleSoft REST endpoint, or they can submit a API call out where they can, they can give us either an API call out, or they can send out an API call out based on what the government agencies are. But certainly both the requirements can be handled by MuleSoft. So once the MuleSoft get the status of a particular permit, I would be calling it out back into Salesforce. Connecting between MuleSoft and Salesforce would be the government agency ID. So MuleSoft would be storing a temporary government agency IDs and the record ID of Salesforce where the work order has been there, such that MuleSoft can get back to Salesforce and update the relevant work order. MuleSoft has sufficiently been able to connect with the temporary databases. So I don't see any much challenges to store the work ID for to store the work order ID for temporary purposes. Customer should receive an email with a response to the permit application. So if the government agency has responded back and they would like to, customer has to send out an email. We have to send out an email to customer. I would be proposing the record trigger flow on work order object, and once the status has been updated, I would be sending out the email to the customer via record trigger flow email actions. If the installation permit is not granted, then the project should be started on hold. That again, I'm putting up a record trigger flow on work order object. I'm considering the work order object, the record trigger flow can update the statuses back on hold. So I don't see much challenges over here. Design consultant would like to meet the customer as well to update the reapply installation permit if they are rejected. So in terms of reapplying the government agency's permit, we would like to use the same integration pattern, but for tracking numbers and everything, I would be using 3 fields, such that I would be applying just only for max 3 or 4 times, and I would be using fields. For now, we can, if there are more time, if there application can be done more times, then we can consider a new child object as well. But considering there was no requirement related to how many times we can reapply, I'm assuming that we can reapply max 3 or 5 times, and 3 or 5 IDs can be stored on a custom object, custom fields. So not considering an object over here for storing the tracking numbers. Once the tracking number has been generated, we can store that in an object, and then that same integration pattern will be used to update the tracking numbers in the status updates. When the installation permit is granted, the design consult searches for installation who have completed training courses. So training courses is an LMS. It's been coming up from LMS. So I would be using a training LMS, training external object to update that and update back in ESB, and then we can use that ESB external service back in Salesforce. So yeah, up to this point, I had prepared in the last 2 hours, and after that, I didn't do it. So probably I will put up another timer next time for this particular scenario. That's it from my side, guys.
Thank you, Shikha.
Yeah. Do you need a break or should we start with Q&A?
You can start, Avinash, and sorry, that's fine. I just want to track my time. I started on 8:07. So 20 minutes is pretty much, I believe, yeah. If I have to cover the other requirements, I can probably cover next sort of requirement next 2 minutes. So, yeah.
Yeah. So can you share your screen again?
Okay. Was I sharing around the entire time, right? Or did I?
Yeah, you were
You just
sharing.
Okay. I think one thing I missed it, which I just want to check it out. I didn't put up much attention on this. Probably, yeah. That's fine. Yeah, go ahead. You can ask. You can ask the questions.
On the
I think
mobile app, maybe I'll start with that. So for internal users for tracking the work orders, maybe checking and other process, did you consider FSL or just Essentials mobile app is good enough for this use case
So
because
work
they are
order,
going to the site. Mhm,
yeah, I'm considering Service Cloud. I'm not considering FSL for now because I don't
mhm,
see any field service lightning mobile app or something requirement over here where
mhm.
they're going in the field and then they're tracking it up. So just to use the work order object, I can certainly use that on a Service Cloud license.
Okay,
And for being that Service Cloud, I put up for them design consult and a Service Cloud license as
okay.
installation manager. Do we need CC or CC plus?
Yeah, so I think if there's a requirement for reportings and all those things, we can certainly put up CC plus, but I think there were a couple of requirements down the line. Probably for installation manager for reports, if they're reporting requirement, then yeah, we can put up CC plus.
Yeah, I was thinking as the role says manager, there might be some requirement around managing users. So might need delegate admin permissions or something.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Avinash. Yeah, I should be able to update that to CC plus, and yeah, I didn't put up this installation manager requirement. I think that is over here.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And you have used Sales Dialer. Is that an Apache product?
No, Sales Dialer is a productivity tool from Sales Cloud. We can use Sales Dialer. It's an auto. We have just have to enable it in the Sales Cloud with the account
Mhm.
executives, and then they can do the calls. Basically, what happens is on out of box list views or anywhere, right? Your phone numbers comes in, right? The moment you
Yeah.
enable the Sales Dialer with account executives, they get a little icon in front of every numbers on list views and record detail pages on only
Mhm.
an account opportunity and lead objects. And considering I'm doing an account opportunity and lead, I would be safe to use Sales Dialer.
So it calls the
Okay, just
customer.
yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Amish.
Yeah, so it calls the customer, right? I haven't used Sales Ad, that's I'm asking question. Does it calls the customer from the app?
It's on Sales. So Sales Dialer do like this. So you have click to call, right? Very similar thing, click to
Mhm.
call. Like there's a click to call icon on each number. Sales dialer is only for outbound calls, and via
Mhm.
the outbound calls, you can directly call it. It tracks the log, call, and task and everything. But it's very much
Okay.
limited to three objects, not for all the objects.
Which means calling will be done from their personal phone, not from any company provided details. Like, so it will be personal phone calling, right?
No, it will be done by a Salesforce telephony system.
Okay, Salesforce telephony system. Does it require any kind of license?
Yes, it do require Sales Cloud and Service Cloud licenses, and it do need account enablement.
Okay, so yeah, that was missing in your licensing. If it requires additional license.
Oh, okay, yeah, I can think about it. If Sales Dialer needs any license,
Yeah,
I
so
think
let's
it's
go.
good for Sales Cloud, but yeah, Sales Dialer needs only as per documentation of Sales Dialer. It can be done on Sales Cloud and Service Cloud. It doesn't need any special licenses. It just need to connect with account executive and they have to enable it. But I can again check.
Okay, the GRS is doing in which region?
Sorry.
The Green Roof Systems, this company is doing business in which region?
They are currently in Europe and they want to expand
Okay,
expand in United States and Canada.
so I think yeah, I was reading that sales dialer will not work. It's only work for US and Canada. Did you check that?
No, you're absolutely correct. Yeah, sales dialer can only work on US and Canada. It doesn't
Mm.
work in Europe. So I agree with you. Yeah, that makes sense.
So in this case, what is your alternate option?
Then I would be using Service Cloud Voice for it. If sales dialer would not be working out, I would be using Service Cloud Voice.
Okay.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll go with another question. So, can you go to your system landscape? I couldn't follow fully, but maybe I just want to take a look one more time. So, can you scroll up? So, for mobile app and mobile publisher, both are user agent flows. Is there
Yeah.
any requirement to log in using any other means, just instead of just username and password?
Yeah. So
Maybe you get. Mhm,
for this one, I think they would be logging in via SSO, right?
mhm.
And they will be logging in via I didn't see social sign on, but I can keep it social sign on for now. But it can be login via social sign.
So can you explain that flow when they're using mobile app, sorry, social sign-on to log into mobile application?
Oh, for mobile publisher?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, what is going to happen is on a flow, what will be happening is on a user perspective, what will going to happen? User is going to go to the mobile publisher app. They will be having pre-configured icons. What we're going to configure on Experience Cloud side, either LinkedIn, Twitter, or Facebook, right? If we had set up only for Facebook, let's say an example, they're gonna click on Facebook, they're gonna go redirect it to the Facebook page, and they're gonna enter the credentials. And once they authenticated with the Facebook, then then we're gonna redirect back it to Salesforce, and based on access levels, they will able to see the Salesforce UI. And from a technical perspective, we're gonna use the Experience Cloud with the authentication provider as Facebook, and in that we will be defining it what the Facebook URLs and everything. And we will be using single sign. We're gonna be using registration handler as well classes, so that if for the new users, if they want to create a, if they want to, if there's no, they're not being part of that cloud site, they can use the registration trigger handler to update and create the contact user and accounts.
So in this flow, who is the relaying party? Like is it mobile application or Salesforce?
Sorry, come
I
again.
say the Facebook or Twitter will be a identity provider, and will be the relaying party,
Relying party would be Salesforce.
Salesforce. So so what actually the identity provider will send to mobile application or Salesforce?
So entity provider would be sending out the OAuth code. One second. Access token. I think access token would be sent out, and then based on the access token, we're gonna use that access token to get into Salesforce. And once we get into Salesforce, then we're gonna use what you called the role-based access controls on Salesforce, which have been defined based on profiles of the particular user, profiles and other object level permissions or permissions and whatever it is.
So one last question maybe on this flow. So let's say they are using some email address to log into Facebook, right? So how will that will be identified back to Salesforce user?
Yeah, so that would be used based on third-party account links as well. So if you're already a user already logged in, then there will be third-party links being created on a user record. And using a third part, once you log in first time, right, third-party account links would be created. And using those email address, third-party account links with the Facebook, they can understand which user we are, and they can get it back to.
No, first time also, how will that identify to update this record? So third party links, it should be updated against user record. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, for first time, it would be used by registration trigger handler. So registration trigger handler on Facebook would be using certain parameters. Like, for example, you're a new user, you never been logged in Salesforce, right? You're gonna
Mm-hmm.
go to registration trigger handler. There will be a first name, last name, email address, and from the first name, last name, email address, you're gonna match it on account. If there's a record being present, then that's great. We can update it. If the record is not being present, then we're gonna create first of all the contact, and then we're gonna create the user on registration trigger handler Apex class.
Okay, thanks. Avinash, maybe you can go ahead. Yeah, Avinash, do you have any questions here in the
Sorry,
system?
I was on mute. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
On objects, how you are sharing different objects with customer, because we need collaboration between customer and internal employees.
You mean to say project object?
Which objects, like what are the different objects customer is going to use? Like,
So yeah, so for projects, for customers, there will be two objects. One is work order, other is project. The project is something which is gonna be approved or rejected, and the work order. So both of the customers are using CC license, and they're gonna get an access via sharing set. So for project, what I'm gonna use is user.account ID equals, if you see my object model, right? So user.account ID equals project.account ID. And for work order also, I will be using the user.account ID equals work order.account ID. I believe work order has account lookup already been there, but if it is not, then I'm gonna create that. I'm gonna populate the work order account values.
and when we are getting lead, we are capturing multiple locations. So how you are capturing multiple locations?
On a project account. So let's say
Okay.
example, there's a lead and they have multiple projects or they have multiple locations, then I'm gonna create another project.
Okay. And how project is related to opportunity?
So project would be a child to an opportunity as well. So lead would be, one second. Let me just put up one more diagram over here. It's like this. So basically, once a lead is being converted to opportunity, all the projects which are being related to a lead, they will be looked up to an opportunity. So once the lead has been converted, opportunity is being created. We're gonna all these projects will have an opportunity lookup as well, and we're gonna populate the opportunity IDs as well.
Okay. So opportunity line item will have multiple products related to different project. So how you are going to define which particular product or which particular plant is for that particular project? Because say if I have 1,000 product in my opportunity, and out of that I have 3 projects, so how those products will be linked to the project?
Okay. So what you're saying is SPA plant application, right? So basically, what is going to happen is each opportunity has a code in the work order, right? So if let's say example, there are multiple projects, right? And under each project, there's an opportunity, right? So for an opportunity, you have a code in a work order, and you're asking me that for a specific plant, I think we are putting up the plans based on opportunity. We're not putting up the plan based on within a particular project over there. I'm putting up
But there are,
this.
yeah, there are different projects based on different locations. So suppose if across the Europe, I have one in Germany and one in London. In one opportunity, I have two locations, or maybe I will just keep it simple, like even in just one region, one in uh, one city, another one is another city.
Mhm.
So products should be based on location, right?
Um,
Not on opportunity, because I need to deliver those product on a site and then uh, install those product on a site.
okay, you're saying in that way. So for that particular requirement, if we are looking for, although this was, I didn't see much on this requirement document. Or let's say example, if that is a requirement, right? And you want to define a particular plant, if you want to relate a particular plant with a particular location, then what I would be probably doing is I will be putting up this code under a project. So instead of quote, or a work order, I would say, I will put up a quote on the opportunity itself, but a work order would be defined based on a project. So right now, work order is on quote, right? So what we can do is we can take out this work order and we can put up this work order on individual project.
Okay, and how the work order is getting created?
So work order would be created based on once a code has been once a code has been assigned and have been approved. Once the code has
Hmm.
been assigned and approved, then we're gonna create the work orders based on the locations.
So a quote will have quote line item and will have multiple products, right?
Quote line item would be having the opportunity line items, right? The opportunity
Okay.
line item will be storing all the opportunity line items and it will be sync up with the quote line items. So opportunity line items and quote line items would be sync up.
Okay. What in this business we are saving in opportunity line item?
So basically what I think opportunity line item in this opportunity line item we're just saving the product details. I
And
think
product are plants.
no, I don't want to store. Probably I'm not proposing that to store on this one unless and
Hmm.
until there's a price associated to it. Because I don't see there's a price being coming out. But if there's a price coming out, right? Let's say example, there's a price coming out, then we will be using opportunity line item and then price book kind of thing. So price book, right? So if there's a price coming in, then I'm going to use this is opportunity line item is nothing else. This is an opportunity product. Opportunity line item is an actually product object, right?
Yes.
The back end object name is opportunity line item, but the front end name is opportunity product, right? And it's been linked up with price book and then product. But I'm not using that products right now. The reason being is because my products are specialty plan application, which is coming outside from a specialty plan application. I would consider I'm not using much on this unless there's a dollar amount comes.
So what we are storing in this particular object, opportunity product, are we storing anything?
No, I don't think so. This would be for future enhancement if you want to, but at this moment, no.
Okay. So in this object model, opportunity product, price book, quote line item, and work order line item is not needed, right?
No, code line item, work order line item is needed. Opportunity
Okay.
product line item, I'm not just putting up over here because product is actually is a specialty plant applications.
Yeah. Sorry if I'm pushing too long. I just don't have
No,
much
that's fine.
questions. So yeah. Uh, on quote line item, again, same question. Like on quote line item and work order line item, what are the value you are going to save on quote line item?
So code line items would be very much similar the way we're gonna put up, right? The code, whatever we're gonna put up each let's say example in a code we are putting up any line item records into it, then we're gonna use the code line items. Um yeah,
So
any kind
say,
of
if I'm selling computer parts in my inventory, I will put say mouse, keyboard, and those things in quote line item, right? But for green roof system, what you're going to store in quote line item? It's a kind of similar to opportunity product, right?
yeah, so for that code line item, what I'm gonna put up is I'm gonna try to put up this when I'm creating a quote, right? So I would be,
Mhm.
let me think about it. Where is the quote? So here the defined sales generate an estimate for green roof design and copy customer, right? So I will be storing most of the what do you call designs or whatever the line items comes in, right? Give me one thing. Let me just think through it. What I was thinking initially, I was thinking to store the individual level of details of line items. I probably need to think about it. I need to think a little bit more about it. That I initially thought about to add up all the products. Yeah, I had to think about it, Avinash. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, no worries. Can we go back to system landscape? I just want to see
Mhm.
it. So have you gone through the agents like installers, or just you have done till customers?
No, I had not gone through installers.
Okay.
Probably, if you guys are free, I will do it again, guys. I will do it
Yeah.
more better on this. But yeah, I had not gone through this installation process.
Okay. Um, maybe in the government agent for the government agency, is it a fire and forget, or is it real time API call?
It's a fire and forget.
So how you are getting the response back?
So yeah, the response back would be coming out either two ways. There are two ways. Either government agencies can call the ESB endpoint, or if
Mhm.
government agencies cannot call the ESB endpoint, then we can do a polling on a government agency to get the status. So
So
there was no clear. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I was just asking, like, are we expecting government agencies to send us and call to our system,
No,
and then they are
this
like,
requirement is not being very much clear, right? What they are clearly saying is government agencies typically respond to a permit within a week. So let's say example, if government agencies provide the status on a particular API call out, then what we can do is we can do a polling via ESB to a government agency, and then we can get the status. So we can do a polling every day in the night. Since it's a within a week, right? We can do after a week, or we can define when we have to poll it, right? That's a one way of doing it. But if there's a possibility that government agencies might give us some way to send out a notification via email or via some other means, if they can do, then we can utilize ESB to get the status on that.
okay, yeah, I think those are my questions.
Mhm.
Okay. Let me ask you. So there are videos upload option, right? So I think in the 4.2 requirement 4.2, can you walk me through that example? How a user will upload a video?
Yeah.
In
So
4.2, yeah.
yeah, so videos would be uploaded. Videos first of all captured in a mobile phone, right?
Okay.
So they will
It's
be
out of the app, or it's part of the app.
no out of the app. So app
Okay.
would not be capturing the video. What they're
Okay.
gonna do is they're gonna capture the video on the phone, take the photos via camera on the phone, and once they take it up, we'll be giving up the capability to upload those photos and videos into Salesforce. So they are saying like they will take photos and videos and they would like to upload them to the new application. So we will be giving them in the mobile app on a files tab. They can add file from the device and then add those videos and photos into that file on the particular project record.
So you're saying 2 GB files can be, so the integration, generally the app should connect through to the Salesforce through APIs, right? So using the token or maybe through REST endpoints, correct?
No, there's no app over here. It's like your mobile, right?
Also,
Your mobile, you can
yeah,
upload those.
in mobile, so how will they upload to Salesforce? Using file tab?
Yeah, so open a Salesforce one mobile app, go to the
Okay.
project record, see the files related list, click on upload
Mhm.
files button, select from a device, and upload the
Correct, correct.
files.
So that's what I'm saying. So here there is a mobile app. So video is captured outside of the app. So it's there in the mobile device,
Mhm,
correct? And
mhm.
now you are uploading that to a app, Salesforce Mobile One app.
Right.
and from there it should store back. It will not. So even if it is a signed Salesforce mobile app, it's app. It's not directly saved in Salesforce, right? It should have the connected app, or maybe through authentication, we are authenticating, getting tokens and all. Then it'll write back to Salesforce. Is that correct or no?
No, Salesforce one mobile app can directly approve. We don't need a connected app or anything. To set up the mobile app and everything, yes, we need a connected app once we, everything. But once Salesforce mobile app can be logged in via SSO, then they are in that and there's an internet connection, so they can. We don't need anything in order to upload these photos.
So if what's the purpose of the connected app for the mobile app then?
So the purpose of the connected app, you're talking about iOS and Android connected app, right? That is one time connected app which has been there for the apps, right? That is a one-time setup for all the users in order to use the Salesforce One mobile app. But that's just a
Mhm.
one-time setup for all the users. Are you talking about that question or you're asking something else?
Yeah, same question. So yeah, my understanding is different. Maybe we'll discuss at the end. The 2 GB file was a question. Actually, the big size, whether we'll be able to transfer or not. Yeah, that's fine. We can discuss at the later. That later. So at what point customers will get access to the portal or mobile application in this flow?
That's a
At
good
what
question.
point we create?
So what will be happening is once they get into the on-site visit, right, with the list of call the customers and confirm positive for scheduling on-site visit. Once they
Mhm.
do a mobile check-in and everything, and they take the pictures and application is being generated, and if the code is being created. So once the code is being created, we have to send out a copy to a customer, right? At that time, they can go to the first time whenever they want to go to the application, right? They can log into a Salesforce mobile publisher app, and they would be using their credentials to log in to once I can approve that particular project. Where's that approved thing? Give me one second. Where's that approve? Yeah, this one. It's on second one, right? Yeah. So they want to approve this particular estimate, right? After the quote. So they will
Mhm.
be going to the mobile app and then they're gonna taking a look on all the estimates and everything on a quote, and they can approve it. So at this time, they will be able to access the mobile app.
So we will create a user account for them at this point. That's requirement number 5.
No, no, we will not be creating. We are not technically creating a user record in the record, but
Mhm.
with the requirement number 5, yeah, user record would be created when they are trying to log in into it. So whenever they are trying to log in as a new user, there will be a new user record created. But if they're the existing customers who already logged in, then they can seamlessly log in with their Facebook or LinkedIn credentials.
Is there any requirement before this they had to have a collaboration with the salesperson or design person before this?
This is sales rep arrive at the customer site. This is calling the customer. Current customer interest should be assigned the same thing. This is also assignment. This is I don't see much recommend on that. I think
Okay, fine. Even I didn't go through, so I'm just checking. So whether we had to create before or at what point. That's fine. We'll come back to that later. The one question on the data virtualization flow. Can you go back to that? There is an integration where you are saying it'll be data virtualization, right?
Mhm.
Can you walk me through this? What actually we are virtualizing here? From what kind of data? Or what's the flow?
There's the specialty plant application, right, which is having our plants.
Mm-hmm.
So we will be virtualizing the plants into Salesforce using Salesforce Connect or Data 4.0. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna have external object which will be having the plants, and we can see those plant records into Salesforce and then search them.
So I think we had to specify that as external object in Salesforce. That's missing in data.
Right. Yeah. We can Salesforce Connect external object. OData 4.0.
So in this case, as per this, it's saying Salesforce via ESB. Do we need a ESB there or no?
Yeah, we need
Or data
ESB.
virtualization?
Yeah, we need ESB because OData 4.0 might not be supported by a SPA application. So ESB would be converting their REST endpoint for whatever the endpoint they're giving it up. ESB would be orchestrating that conversion protocol.
So can you explain like what's the role of ESB here?
Converting it the SPA
Okay,
application REST endpoints into OData 4.0 because OData 4.0 is a specific protocol, right? Uh,
correct. Yeah.
and specialty planned application might not be supporting it.
Mhm.
So MuleSoft would be transforming that process.
So from the user experience point of view, from in Salesforce, when they're trying to see the plant records, so during that time, it will make a call to ESB, and ESB will make call to SPA, and then how will that flow will work? At what point ESB will pull the data from the SPA?
So basically, what is going to happen is Salesforce is going to connect with OData 4.0, which is a real-time call, right? And that MuleSoft or ESB would be calling out SPA immediately at the same time, which will be exactly the same REST endpoint, but probably REST endpoint would be returning back the JSON, and that JSON would be converted back to OData 4.0. So the conversion would be happening by ESB, but it will be seamless real-time integration.
So so in this case, do we need that Salesforce connect or not? Because there is a connection between Salesforce and ESB already, and you are querying the data, and you're saying that ESB will pull the data from SPA and transfer back to Salesforce, right?
Right.
So do we need extra connection there? The Salesforce Connect feature actually.
Yeah, Salesforce Connect is good because then you get an external object and you can do a queries and everything. You can certainly do with the request and reply as well, but that would be not now you have to do everything on your own, like searching and everything. But I would
Mhm.
consider external object. The reason being is because there are other requirements which is for searching, cancellations and everything. So all those requirements can suffice as external object.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I think that's all. That's all even I have so far.
Right, right. No, makes sense. One thing, let me stop recording or I can stop recording now.
Yeah, sure.